about the exam point of view, right? And the syllabus is there. The module A is general banking operation. Okay. So total in module A there are 21 chapter is there, right? And this module itself is having the weightage of 25 to 30 marks, right? Approx 25 to 30 marks weightage is there. So we have total 21 chapter, right, in module A, that is. Okay, so this module is actually a very important module, right? Total 21 chapter. The chapter first is the chapter 1 is banker customer relationship, right? So there is a basic relationship between the banker is customer is debtor and creditor and creditor and debtor. And apart from that, based on the relationship, that what kind of services bank is offering to you, based on that, or what kind of services customer is availing from the bank, that is based on that there are different type of relationship like agent and principal, trustee and beneficiary. Okay, so there are so many other relationship also apart from the banker and customer relationship, right? Then we have the second chapter, that is AML and KYC guideline. So in this chapter we are going to cover that what is the AML and KYC guideline. Okay, what is the anti money laundering and what is the know your customer guideline. Okay, so that we are covering in chapter number 2. Then we have chapter number 3, that is operational aspect of KYC. Okay, now what we are going to cover in this chapter, we are going to cover the different type of customer. We have the blind customer, we have Pardanashi lady, we have the minor account. So different type of customer we are going to we are going to complete in, that is chapter number 3, operational aspect of KYC and the various type of customer. Okay, then we have chapter number 5, that is. Now what is the chapter number 5 is that, okay, the chapter number 5 is when we are talking about the chapter number 5. In this chapter you have to cover, right, that is related to the, one second. The chapter number 5 is that is related to the operational aspect of deposit account, right? So in this module, in this chapter, you have to cover that what is the meaning of deposit account, what is the interest on the deposit account, what type of prohibition and exemption is there, what is the meaning of unclaimed deposit and inoperative account, right, demat account. Then what is the meaning of nomination facility and operational guideline attachment order. This we are going to cover in the operational aspect of deposit account. Then the next chapter is operational aspect of handling, clearing, collection and cash. Chapter number 6, that is. Okay, so in this chapter we have to cover CTS, that is check truncation system, RBI guideline on collection of instrument, cash and its custody, security arrangement at branches and ATM. Then the next is bankers special relationship. Chapter number 7, that is bankers special relationship, right? Now in the banker special relationship we have to cover, right, that there is a special relationship between the banker and customer. The mandate, power of attorney, banker lien, right of set off and right of appropriation. This we need to cover in the banker special relationship. Then the next chapter is foreign exchange remittance facility for individual. So in this chapter we have to cover full complete FAMA Act. Okay, FAMA Act we have to cover here in the foreign exchange remittance facility. Apart from the FAMA Act, we have to cover all the inward remittance and all the outward remittance and the main scheme, that is Indo-Nepal remittance scheme. This we have to cover in this chapter. Then the next chapter is operational aspect of NRI business, right? So for NRIs, what type of services, what type of account bank can offer. Okay, so in this chapter we have to identify what is the difference between the NRI account and PIU account, right? What type of account an NRI can open and the PIU can open. Then we have the account in India of foreign national visiting the India. SNRR account, special non-resident rupee account. Then the next is remittance of asset held by the NRI. Transfer of removal property by NRI, creation of charge. These all we have to cover in this chapter. Then the next is foreign currency account for resident and other aspect. Right? Chapter number 10, that is, right? In this, we have to cover the type of account permitted, then what type of foreign currency denominated account in India, permitted foreign currency account outside the India, remittance of asset by the foreign national who are not the PIO. Then the main act, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010. This we need to cover here. The next chapter is, that is cash management, CMS. Okay? CMS we need to cover. What is a CMS? What is the development of CMS? What is the importance of CMS? What is the type of CMS, challenges and issues? Right? The next is payment and collection and other negotiable instrument. Okay? So the next chapter is, that is payment and collection of check and the other negotiable instrument. So what is a payment? That is NI Act we have to cover. Payment of check, payment in due course, that is section 10. Then liability of the paying bank, section number 31. Collection of check, duties of a collecting bank, endorsement of check, crossing of check, forged instrument, bouncing of check, and CTS, that is check truncation system. Right? Then the next chapter is responsibility. So what is the responsibility of the paying bank? Okay? So with respect to the that is a paying bank, what is the guideline given in the NI Act? Then what is the liability of the paying banker when there is a customer signature is forged on the check? Okay, all this we have to cover here. Then what is the responsibility of the collecting bank? Right? So that means what is the duties of collecting bank? What type of protection is given to the collecting bank? Then ancillary services, that means supportive services. The main services which bank are offering is, that is deposit and advancing. But apart from that, there are some ancillary services also, like remittance, okay, DD, banker check, mail transfer, TT, that is telegraphic transfer, NEFT, RTGS, electronic benefit transfer, mobile banking, electronic digital payment, safe deposit lockup, portfolio management service, merchant banking, government services, and what is the levying of services charges. So these are the ancillary services which need to offer. Then the next chapter here is, that is financial inclusion and financial literacy. Okay? So this is the financial inclusion and financial literacy. So what is the difference between the financial inclusion and the financial literacy? RCT we have to cover here. Okay? RCT. So what is the RCT? That is Rural Self-Employment Training Institute. This we have to cover. The next chapter is customer service guidelines. So in this chapter we have to cover what type of customer service bank are providing and what is the policy. Okay? What type of protection is given to the customer? What is the special arrangement should be there at the branches? Then the next chapter is about the customer right, duties of a customer and a customer. Okay? So with respect to the bank, what is the duty of bank? What is the rights bank is having? Garnishee order, attachment order, right? Then BCSBI, right? This we have to cover. Then the next chapter here is grievance redressal and RBI integrated ombudsman scheme 2021. So in this chapter we have to cover the RBI integrated ombudsman scheme 2021, that is. Okay? That is RBI integrated ombudsman scheme, which came into the force in the year of 2021. Earlier, the banking ombudsman scheme is there, but now all the three schemes are now merged here. Okay? Now, Consumer Protection Act 2029. Then Right to Information Act. So in COPA Act, there is a new act. Earlier than COPA 1986 was there. Now that act is completely nullified, and now the act which is came into the force in the year of 2009. So what is the salient feature of COPA Act 2019? What is the meaning of FORA? What is the Consumer Protection Council? What is the Central Consumer Protection Authority? What type of redressal commission is there? Jurisdiction of commission, and complaint to the district commission, complaint to the state commission, national commission. Okay, all these we need to cover. Then the last chapter of this module is Right to Information Act, that is 2005. Okay, so obligation of public authority, what is the right to information, designation of PIO, what is the procedure for obtaining information, disposal of a request, appeal, order in appeal, what is the role of CIC, Central Information Commission, and what is the role of SIC, State Information Commission. So all these we need to cover. Okay, this is your module A, right? Now we have module B, right? What is the right? Right? So what include in module D? In module D, the first chapter is about principle of lending, different type of borrower and type of credit facility. Okay? So in this chapter, that is principle of lending, the type of borrower, the type of credit facility, right? Working capital, non-fund based facility and other credit facility, demand loan, term loan, these we need to cover. Then the next chapter is that is appraisal and assessment of credit facility. That means what is a credit appraisal? What is the credit appraisal technique is there? What is the method of assessment of the loan? What is the assessment of working capital, assessment of term loan, right? This we need to cover, right? Then the operational aspect of the loan account, right? So what is the interest rate on the loan? What is the credit management? What is the credit monitoring? What is the common operational terms? What is the accounting aspect of loan product? The basic operating instruction on loan product, operating manual for loan and advances. Okay? Then operating instruction, right, for the loan product. What is the guideline for recovery agent which normally engaged by the bank, right? Recovery agent, normally it is engaged by the bank. What is the guideline for them? Now the next is type of collateral and their characteristic. Okay, that is type of collateral and their characteristic. So what type of securities? What is the meaning of secured loan? What is the meaning of unsecured loan? And what is the difference between the secured loan and unsecured loan? Then what is the type of security? Land, building, goods, document of title of goods, right? What is the advances which normally given against the LIC policy, life insurance policy? Okay, advance against the share, advance against the debenture, the loan against the book debt, the loan against the term deposit, the loan against the gold ornament, supply will. Okay, these we have to cover in this chapter. Then the next is different mode of charging security. ठीक है, this is a different mode of charging security. So what is the meaning of contract, right? What is the contract of agency? What is the contract of bailment? The type of charges, the registration of charges. Then the next chapter is documentation, that is, so different type of documentation procedure, right? Then we have non-performing asset, NPA, and the stress asset. Okay, so what is the meaning of NPA exactly? What is the computation of NPA? The gross NPA, net advances, the provisioning norms. Okay, how we can write off the NPA, the NPA management, all we have to cover. Then the next chapter is important laws, which is relating to the recovery of the dues. So some act we need to cover here. Okay. Right. Then the next chapter is the important laws, which is related to the recovery of dues. That means Bankruptcy Act you have to cover, Surface Act you have to cover here, then Legal Service Authority Act and the Law of Limitation you have to cover. Then we have next chapter is that is contract of indemnity and contract of guarantee. Right, so what type of that is contract of guarantee and the contract of indemnity we need to cover. Okay, so what is the contract of indemnity? That is actually the protection from the loss. So what is the meaning of indemnity contract? What is the right of indemnity holder? What is the meaning of implied indemnity, right? That we need to cover. Then the next is contract of guarantee, that is. Okay, so in this we have to cover what is the parties to the contract, right? What is the meaning of consideration? What is the liability of the surety? Continuing guarantee, revocation of the continuing guarantee, death of the surety, variance in terms of the contract, discharge of the principal debtor. All this you have to cover. Then the next is LC, the letter of credit, right? So in the letter of credit, what is the general consideration? What is the parties of the letter of credit? What is the UCPDC 600 guideline? Very, very important. This you need to cover. Next chapter is that is deferred payment guarantee. Okay. So what is the purpose of deferred payment guarantee? What is the meaning of deferred payment guarantee and what is the method of payment? Then the next chapter is laws relating to the bill finance, that is. Okay. So what is the meaning of laws? Yes, actually, Raghavji, I have seen your comment. Okay. Okay. So after that, what is the law which is relating to the bill finance, right? So that is classes of bill, classification of bill, various type of bill finance. Then what is the legal position of a banker? Okay. Then the next chapter is that is personal finance. So what is the meaning of personal finance? What is a credit card? What type of home loan? What type of personal loan given to the consumer? And what is a consumer loan? Then the next chapter is that is priority sector. Okay, priority sector lending we have to cover here. Then what is the target? What is the sub target given to the priority sector? There are 8 priority sector, right? So what is the target and what is the sub target which is given to the priority sector? And what is the guideline, the common guideline for the priority sector advances or loan? and the other aspect which is related to the PSL. Then the next is agriculture finance, KCC and all we have to cover. In the agriculture finance, what is a short-term loan? What is a crop loan? Right? What is the meaning of that is KCC? Right? What is the Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana? All this we have to cover. Then next is finance to the MFI and co-lending arrangement with the NBFCs. Right? So here, what type of borrowing, what type of sources finance which is available for NBFCs, which is available for microfinancial institution, right? What type of what type of scale-based regulation is given to the NBFCs in the year of 2021 or 22 only? The scale-based regulation is given to all the NBFCs company for base layer, for middle layer, for upper layer. Okay, 1 second, just power is gone now. Okay, 1 second, power is gone now actually. So now what is the MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises in the India? So what is the aim of MSME, right? What is the MSMED Act? What is the policy package for MSME? The credit finance measure for promotion, all this you have to cover. So this chapter is little bit lengthy. Then all the government sponsored scheme. Okay, that what is the day NULM, what is the day NRLM, PMJDY, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Khadi Village Industry Commission, Mudra loan, all you need to cover. Then the last chapter of this module is self-help group. Okay, that means what is the need for SHG, what is the forming of SHG. Okay, so what type of self-help group, what is the definition of self-help group, what is the need for SHG, forming of SHG, okay, then day NRLM and day NULM scheme. So all this you need to cover in module B. Of course, this module is also having the very high weightage. Then we have module C, that is right related to the banking technology. So the first chapter of this module is essential of bank computerization, right? So what is the meaning of bank computerization? What is the technology in the bank? What is the UPS, CBS, core banking, data warehouse and data mining? Then the next is related to the CBS environment, right? CBS is CBS environment. What is the flow of transaction? What is the CBS? What is the begin of the day BOD and EOD? Then password control, right? All this you need to cover in the chapter that is CBS environment. Next chapter is alternative delivery channel, that is digital banking. That means ATM, okay, all the electronic banking, electromagnetic card, all this you have to cover. Then the next chapter is data communication network and EFT system. Okay, this chapter data communication network and EFT system, right? So data communication network scenario in the India, major network, emerging trend in the communication, swift messages, right? All you need to cover. Then we have the digital payment system, that is NPCI, right? All the digital payment, normally it is introduced by the NPCI only. So what is the electronic clearing system in the India? What type of digital initiative taken by the government of India, right? The next chapter is impact of technology adoption and trend in banking technology, right? So in this chapter, what is the technology development is there? What is the use of the technology upgradation? what type of impact of IT is having on the bank. Okay, as you know that nowadays we are using the financial times. So what type of technology actually we are using in the bank. Then the next chapter is security consideration and mitigation measures in the bank. Okay, so what is the risk concern areas? What type of threat is there? What is the meaning of information security? Right? Then the last chapter of this module is that it fraud risk in the cyber track. Okay, so what type of fraud risk management is there related to the cyber technology? Right? So fraud we have to cover, crime we have to cover. The last chapter of this module is related to the technology trained in the banking, that is e-rupee, fintech, right? That is super tag, hashtag banking. All this we need to cover in the last chapter. Then we have module D. Of course, this module is having approx 10 to 12 marks weightage. Only 5 chapters are there in module D. And all the chapters are related to the ethics in the bank. Okay? So, the first chapter of this module is ethics, business ethics and banking. So, we have to cover what is the difference between the values and ethics. The second chapter of in this module is ethics at the individual level. So, what is the difference between the values, norms, belief, core values, right? Next chapter is that is ethical dimension for only for the employee. So what is the abuse of the official position, insider trading, bribes, proprietary data, sexual harassment, all you need to cover. Then we have work ethics and the workplace. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of work ethics? What is the ethical behavior at workplace, right? Then the last chapter of this module is banking ethics related to the changing dynamic, right? So proprietary right, intellectual property right, all we need to cover here. Okay. Now I'm going to starting unit number 1 from module A, that is banker and customer relationship. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of okay? What is exactly the basic function of bank? See, the basic function of bank is actually it is number 1 is deposit, okay, and number 2 is advances, right? These are the basic services which normally bank provide, okay, the deposit and the advances. Now whatever deposit you are giving to the bank are free to use that deposit, okay? So they are giving you the basic service, that is deposit and the advances. And apart from that, there are some variety of services also, like providing the locker, keeping the article in the safe custody, collecting bill and check. Okay? So there is a relationship between the bank and customer, which is completely depend upon that what type of services is offering to you. Okay? What type of services is offering by bank. So basically there are two basic services which normally bank offer to the customer, right? That is the deposit and the loans. But apart from these two services, there are other services also, right? That is providing the locker, keeping article in the safe custody, collecting the bill, check and etc. etc. So definitely the relationship which is there between you and the right okay, so that is actually right, so that is actually related to that what kind of services bank is offering to you. The relationship between bank and customer will be set by that service. It depend upon that service. Okay, so now according to the BR Act, right? According to the BR Act, section number 5B, what is the meaning of banking exactly? The banking means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment or deposit from the public. ठीक है? So lending, investment and deposit of money. These are some basic services which is repayable on demand. So whatever deposit public is depositing with the bank, ठीक है, that means there is actually which is repayable on the demand. That means whenever customer will be needed that money, they can ask. ठीक है, it should be repayable on the demand, which can be withdraw maybe by check, maybe by draft, maybe by order. ठीक है, so basically the basic service is that is lending or investment. ठीक है, but there is a one thing, deposit should be only for lending and investment. So bank actually are free. ठीक है, whenever we are depositing something, that means bank actually are free. ठीक है, they can make use of that. ठीक है, and apart from that, right, companies accepting deposit for trading or manufacturing are not considered as a bank. ठीक है, so if you are accepting the deposit but you are not using that money for lending or investment, we cannot call it as a bank. ठीक है, so any kind of trading company, if they are accepting the deposit from the normal public but they are not using that money into the lending or investment, that means we cannot call it as a bank. Number one. ठीक है, number two is that deposit should be from the public. It should be from public. So nidhis normally multi-benefit society, corporate, they are accepting deposit from the member, which we cannot call it as a bank. So one thing is, if you are accepting the deposit, it should be from the normal public, not from the member of the trust or member of the any society. It should be from the normal public, and that money should be used for lending and investment. So these two are the essential requirement when we called it any company as a bank. ठीक है, so according to the section 5B of BR Act, there are two conditions. The money should be deposit, but that deposit should be used for lending and investment. Second thing is, deposit should be from the normal public. ठीक है, it should be from the normal public, not from the member of the society or member of the trust. So these are the two essential conditions when we call any company as a bank, according to the section 5B of BR Act. ठीक है, next is, that is, right, C condition is acceptance of deposit should be in the form of money. ठीक है, it should be not cryptocurrency and all, it should be in the form of money. ठीक है, so any company, right, ठीक है, so any company, one second, so any company which is incorporated, right, which is incorporated as a bank, the guideline is there proper according to the 5C of BR Act. Banking company means any company who is doing the transaction, the business of banking in India. So section 7(1) of BR Act prohibit use of the word banker or banking company. Only bank like Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, they can use this word banker, banking company. ठीक है, so normally other than the banking company, they cannot use these type of word. ठीक है, banking means, banking company means actually the company who is under the transaction, the business of banking in the India. ठीक है, so 7(1) section of BR Act, it prohibit use of the word that is banker, banking company, right? Company cannot use these type of words. Any company, if they are only in the banking transaction, then only they can use. ठीक है, so this is the mandatory guideline. right? A point is money lender, of course, they are not banker. Any money lender, Mahajan, Sahukar, Shettis, they are also giving you the money, but they are not bank. Okay? They are not bank. There is a case of Kadir and Shettiar versus Ramanathan Shettiar, okay, where money lender actually giving you the money, but bank lend money of his customer and the depositor. Money lender is using their own money. See, there is a difference between the money lender and the bank. Bank are using the money of the customer for investment, for the advances. But money lender, Sahujan, Sahukar, they all are using their own money, right? For giving the loan, they are using their own money. But the bank actually, they are using the customer's money. They are using the depositor's money. So this is the difference between the money lender and banker. And money lender, they cannot be the bank, right? Second is accepting deposit money from the public. This is necessary condition actually, okay? That money should be accepted from the normal public only. It should be from normal public, okay? Only from the public. So this is the two mandatory condition, right? Right. So in case of there is a case of Mahalakshmi Bank and registrar of company. The judgment, the court has given the judgment that company gave loan to the public but did not accept the deposit from the public. It cannot be considered as a banking company. Banking company, what is the definition of banking company? You are giving the loan to the bank, but what money you are using for that loan? You are using the money which you have taken from the public only. Okay, you are not using your own money, right? You are using the public money only for the investment and for the lending. This is the mandatory condition for the banking company. Then you have to use the deposit from the public, which you can use for lending and for the advances. Okay, so you have to accept the deposit, right? Without any purpose or with a purpose other than lending cannot be termed as a bank. So if you are taking the money from, you are depositing the money from the public, that means you have to use that money into the lending or investment. If you are not using that money for lending or investment and vice versa, okay, that means it cannot be termed as a bank. And even if you are lending or investment, but you are not taking the money from the public, and the opposite is that you are taking the money from the public but you are not using for lending and investment, that means that type of company, that type of institution cannot be termed as a bank. So please remember this point, right? Then deposit repayable to the depositor on demand or otherwise. That means the deposit of money may be repayable either on demand, or if they are term deposit, it should be paid within the time period. That means whenever, suppose I am the customer, I have deposited my money with the bank, right? But that money is actually the repayable either on demand, or maybe if it is a term deposit, then it should be deposited on the term, on the completion of the term. So that money is actually the repayable to the depositor on demand or maybe otherwise. So whenever I'm asking my money back from the bank, bank has to give that money to me. Okay, so I can ask maybe through check, maybe through order, maybe through anything, right? So this is the condition versus advances. Okay, deposit versus advances. Apart from deposit versus advances, there are some other services also. According to section 6 of BR Act, there are some other services also, like discounting of bill, collection of check, remittance, hire the safe deposit locker, custody of article. All these are the other business. So normally, according to section 6, it provided bank can offer the other services also. And apart from that, even bank nowadays providing these services also. wealth management, mutual fund, project appraisal, right? Executor trustee, acceptance of central government taxes, all these things, factoring, security trading, we have to cover in the upcoming chapter. So in a detailed manner, we will cover all the wealth management services, all the project appraisal, what is the mutual fund, life insurance, all these we need to cover in the upcoming chapters, right? Then who is the customer exactly? So there is a relationship between the banker and customer. What is the meaning of customer? See, customer actually is not defined by any law, but what is the meaning of customer actually? The customer is who is availing your services. Okay? So what is the meaning of customer? Who is actually availing the services of the bank. Okay? Who is actually giving the deposit to the bank. So basically you are availing the service of the bank. We called it as a customer. Okay? But for the KYC purpose, what is the definition of customer? Right? The person or entity, they maintain an account or has a business relationship with bank or conduct the transaction with bank. So what is the meaning of customer? The customer means that is not just individual. That can be the entity also, right? Like maybe NTPC, BPCL, these all are the customer only for bank because they are the entities of the bank. Okay, so for the purpose of KYC requirement, a customer can be the individual person or can be the business entity also who are maintaining the account, who are maintaining the relationship with the bank. Okay, so this is the all for today. Tomorrow we will continue with the beneficial of owner. What is the meaning of beneficial owner according to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, right? So all the viewers who are watching me live on the YouTube channel, right? First of all, one second. Right? So first of all, you have to type here, that is, one second. Right? You have to type here, that is adda247.com. Right? Then you have to go by the category of JAIIB and CIB. We have JAIIB May 2024, right? You have JAIIB Mahapack and double validity is going on. Okay. Then we have the AIM batch, right, which is recently launched, right, from 6th of March, that is today. You have to go by the category, that is buy now. Y666, this code you need to apply here, and the price is 3999, and this price will be reduced if you are using the Adda application. Then discount will be 81% plus coin also you can use here. Plus the double validity is going on the JAIIB Mahapacks. So all the English medium, all the bilingual classes you will be getting here. Y666, this code you need to apply, right? The price is 5999 and this price will be reduced if you are using the Adda application, right? So all the best for your preparation. Registration is already started from 5th of March and start your preparation with Officer Adda 24/7. So all the best.